Hello BookTube, hello book friends, welcome back to my channel and another tag video. The reason I am sitting so far away from the camera this morning is because I am going to do the 10 biggest books tag. This is a tag that was created by Alan at Big Hard Books and Classics, and I was tagged by Gareth at Books, Songs and Other Magic. And the idea is a bit like the big books that are worth your time tag that I did a while ago. This is centered around big books, but in this sense, these are big physically in the sense of oversize. So I've got a paperback here. This is just a standard sized paperback. So I thought I would use for scale because certainly the last two that I'm going to show you are enormous. I haven't got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've only got 8. Well, I've got 9 because one is one book from a 2-volume set, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So let's get started. I think this first book I'm pretty sure I've shown this on the channel before, and yes, I am using a side table again. So this is Winston Churchill's Painting on the French Riviera. So this is, as you probably know, and just for scale, so there you go. As you probably know, Winston Churchill, in his quieter moments, was a painter, bricklayer, when he wasn't running the country and working out what to do next in the Second World War. He was a painter. And this book basically is some of his paintings. Sorry, I'm trying to work out whether you can see this, versus where they were painted. Let's find another one. And this is all kind of around the Mediterranean. It's quite a lot of harbours and villages and so on. So yeah, I'm a bit of a Winston Churchill buff, as you probably know, so no surprise that I've got that. Then I think this is the only fiction. Yeah, this is the only fiction in my selection, and this is the one book that is part of the 2-volume set. So this is volume 1 of the annotated Sherlock Holmes. So this is in 2 volumes, a complete collection of all of the stories that were written by Arthur Conan Doyle about Sherlock Holmes, and it's, as it says, annotated. So the author has gone through and talked about each of the stories and relevant issues, relevant things that are accompanying. Unlike a complete a complete Sherlock Holmes, which would start with A Study in Scarlet and go through to the casebook or the memoirs, whichever is the final set. This works on the basis of in the canon when the stories were written. So the first story is not A Study in Scarlet. The first story is The Glorious Scot, and you can see you've got the text of the story and then annotations in a separate column. So they are written in chronological order of when the events in each story allegedly happened. So you don't get A Study in Scarlet until the third story. So A Glorious Scott and A Musgrave Ritual come before both of those. So yeah, this is a two volume set. Just wanted to show volume one, and just for scale. And then I have each American president has had a photographer, the presidential photographer. And one of the ones that I admire the most, he worked for Ronald Reagan, I think, and also for Barack Obama. And when Barack Obama left office, he did a compilation of some of his favorite photographs. So they were publishing kind of a photograph a day on the White House website and on Flickr, I think, and latterly kind of Instagram and places like that. And that photographer is Pete Souza, and the book is Obama, An Intimate Portrait. So it's got a lot of the photographs that some of them are just he was there all the time. So, some of them are quite. This is actually candid family snaps, and candid business snaps, as well as when things were quite serious, or quite reflective. So this is one that was taken on the bus that Rosa Parks used to go to school on, which is now in the Henry Ford Motor Museum. As I say, some are more light-hearted than others. So yeah, and again, just to scale, so you get the idea. This is a heavy book. And now we get on to another heavy book. There's a bit of a story behind this one. This is a book that I mostly can't read, but I can admire the photographs. So there are a lot. It is mostly all photographs, although there is some text. This was presented to me, trying to think when it would have been, back into round about 2006, 7, when I was working on a project that was a British, French, Dutch and Belgian collaboration project back before Brexit, when things actually got done. And this was presented to me by the French one of the French partners in the project, the Conservatoire du Littoral, where we were working with them and collaborating on issues around sea level rise and coastal squeeze on our respective coasts. And this is book Littoral, which is literally pictures from different parts of their coasts. Not all necessarily of the coast, but things that you could see, or places you could visit. As I say, there is some text which my French is. I've got schoolboy French basically, so I can read some things, but not everything. And let's just say different pictures. So yeah, this is quite a book, a large book that has some memories attached to it, and again, quite a huge, physically oversized book. couple of slightly smaller ones now. New York City Gardens. So this is a kind of coffee table book looking at gardens, which are mostly, if they're not kind of Central Park, are sort of courtyard gardens or high-rise gardens, multi-level gardens in New York City. And for scale, there you go. If you've been on the channel for any period of time, you will know that Monet and Van Gogh are two of my favourite artists, so no surprise that one of the oversized books is a book of or about Monet and Monet's paintings. Right, now the last two, and I think I am really going to struggle a bit with these. You will know that I am a biologist by profession, and that, the natural world is obviously something of an interest of mine. So I've got two kind of, I suppose they're not directly related, but this is a celebration of biodiversity on the planet called One Planet, and is just basically, I found a nice photograph to show you and now I've lost it, but basically an oversized book of photographs and for scale. So, as you can imagine, and heavy. And then finally, this is a similar book by the photographer Steve Bloom, and is called Untamed, and it's as big as the previous one and has similarly massive photographs, and as well as having massive photographs, I'm going to need to stand up, it also has double page pull out spreads, so I cannot get that all in frame. But there you go. So those are my what was my biggest books tag. So if you have been, thank you for watching. Thank you very much to Alan for creating the tag and for Gareth for tagging me, and I will tag a few people in the description box below. As always, no pressure if I tag you, but yeah, I'm out of breath from picking those books up. That's ridiculous. Anyway, if you have been, thank you for watching, and I will speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.